That state of simplest form of awareness alone is worthy of seeing, hearing, contemplating, and realizing. From the Upanishads.
That day, I was going to meet my sister for lunch. I emailed her that morning just to confirm what time, and I didn't hear anything back. Thinking, it's really strange how Lochi hasn't got back to me, because I'd also texted, "Are you okay?" which is like quite a strong message, and I was sure that she would text back.
Usually, she comes into work every day. She didn't come in on the Monday, and I thought it was a bit weird.
I walked like 4 or 5 minutes to where her flat was, and that's where Jan was with Ant, looking more and more confused by what was going on.
I tried to bang on the door, shout, but she wasn't responding.
I remember Jan kind of calling out Locha. What was going through our minds was that there's only one reason why she'd still be in her flat.
At that point, I decided to call 999. The police arrived together with the landlord who had a key.
And there was this very strange moment of the police holding Jan back a bit, saying, "Do you want us to go in first?" The guy who opened the door not wanting to be the first guy to go in there. It was all very strange. And Jan just said, I'm going in.
The flat looked like some serious chaos had happened. I was like, shit, where is she? Everything was topsy-turvy. There was clothes everywhere. There was vomit and excrement everywhere. The fact that she wasn't there was sort of a relief. But then the next question was, where is she?
Locha's always been quite good at going somewhere and to adventures and experiences, go and see friends. So I've had this throughout my life. Where is Locha? Has been a question. You go to the supermarket and you pick something from the shelf, but where is Locha?
Somebody at Royal London fitted Locha's description. They couldn't identify her because she wasn't able to speak. The police that I'd called and the police at the Royal London managed to sort of work out that this was my sister.
To see a young patient who is semi-conscious, who is actually becoming more unconscious as time goes by, with the speed that she was deteriorating, really you're faced with a situation where you have to decide to act urgently and save a life.
We arrived at the hospital where it was explained that Lotje was undergoing some kind of very severe medical emergency to her brain, and that she had a very high probability of dying. She'd had an intracerebral brain hemorrhage.
My initial reaction about this was that this was a very large blood clot and it was immediately life-threatening. I must say that a lot of these cases are so severe that it isn't possible to intervene, or if you do, you are unsuccessful. The surgery involved an incision on the scalp, the removal of a small window of bone, approximately that size, just a small cut through the brain substance itself to reveal the blood clot and then to remove as much of the blood clot as possible. Now, that doesn't necessarily mitigate the damage that's been done by the bleed into the brain. That is damage that is done and can't really be reversed. The commonest type of stroke is actually an area of the brain that is starved of oxygen and loses its blood supply. Lotje's type of stroke is a bleed into the brain substance. Most of them are caused by either an abnormal blood vessel that may be developmental, it can be blood clotting abnormalities, and there are a lot of rare things that can cause it. There are still some tests to be done later down the line, but at the moment we don't have a clear cause for why this happened. It may well be that we never find one, and it may well be we never know the cause.
They kept her artificially asleep. It seemed that they had no idea if they'd even be able to wake her up, or if she woke up, or what her functions would be. So during that whole 24 hours, we literally had no idea what the outcome would be.
I'm alive. Very bad at writing. But I'm not dead. That's the start. Very messed up. But definitely excited to be alive.
We came in about 10 minutes after she woke up. She did talk, but she was very confused.
We're not sure what's going to happen today. It's either going to be a new place, or something completely different. We're just not sure.
I was really nervous seeing her, and Jan had kept saying how, you know, it's very weird and she might not recognise you.
The fact was she was alive. Actually, that was the biggest, I would say. Look, she's alive, and she looks great.
Okay. Right, here we are. Okay. I want you to say some words beginning with this. You think you can do that? So it could be sound, or swing, or sitting. So starting from now. Summer. Okay. Some seed. No, I get two.
She wasn't able to do the tests that they do for these situations. So it was becoming clear that there was more severe issues, but I mean, not understanding really what those issues were.
So why don't you just tell me what's happened?
I was in a pretty normal, very busy, normal, kind of a clever person, and now I'm starting from the beginning.
What does it feel like?
It's extremely strange, starting from nothing. It's like tripping out. I don't really know how to... So how do I say it? I can't... This normal world, normality. I'm very sort of bizarre is a way to describe it. And it's difficult to... I guess I'm not making much sense. Sorry. I wish I could... Yeah. I'll try.
What about these photographs? Do you...
Pictures?
Yeah.
Matilda is she's I can't my nephew, yeah, my nephew.
She's your nephew?
Yes, nephew, and now she's also a nephew? Niece. I meant niece. For some reason I can't say the actual word itself. This word.
On that shelf?
Yeah.
A record?
Record, yeah. Exactly. So, for some reason, I can say... You say it again.
Record.
Record. Record. I can only say if I don't actually... If I go like that, then I can say the word record, but not... You say it again.
Record.
Record, yeah. Record. I can't say it now, but I can't. You know, I can't speak or... No, not speak. I can't be clever. What do you call it?
Right?
Yeah, right. I can't write it at all. Or be clever or be normal. Any of that. It's beyond terrifying. This could be tail, not tail. What does that say? It's the? Yeah. Oh yeah, the. Does that say the? Yeah. Written the before? I didn't think I would have a trouble with the word the. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Is no 2. This isn't in my correct dictionary in my brain. Stew. Where did that come from? My date of birth, and I wrote it wrong. Happy. Ah. Okay, something's not right here today. Help! That must have been the first word I wrote, other than hi. The green one is on top of the blue one. Correct?
No.
I can't believe I can look at some words, you know, a book or an internet connection, an internet page, or someone's written to me an email, and I don't see what it says. I know what it says, but it's all around complete gobbledygook. I can't believe that. I refuse to believe that that's happening.
She was an extremely dynamic, extremely social, very impassioned individual.
She had a really, really tough job, had to be very, very organised, multitasking, loads of things going on at the same time.
That was her existence. Communication, writing films, writing in general, and reading. You know, Lotchev's always reading like these really thick books.
She's the most articulate person. So it's kind of, it's almost obscene that this part it's affected that part of her brain.
I think it's probably very alienating. She can't interact in the same way with people. She gets fatigued very easily. Mathematical function seems to be impaired, which is something that hasn't actually been addressed really at all to this stage, but I've noticed it. But, you know, that kind of logistics, I don't know the technical terms for it, but, you know, these sort of like logical things that we sort of take for granted. The concern I have at this stage is because she's so ambitious and so energetic that she puts too much pressure on herself, and that pressure ultimately leads to a situation where, you know, she gets meltdown, basically.
If I'm faced with the question, who am I? I'm someone who has a huge amount of friends, very hardworking, travels all over the world, loves to read. What if all of that evidence is removed? What does that make me? Something's happened to my vision, which nobody's really explained to me yet. Pretty normal on the left, as long as I just keep it on the left. If I go on the right side, it's like a whole nother dimension. Vision to an eternal space, an inner world. It's a heightened sense of reality. I don't know, it becomes a sort of euphoric notion. Whether it's my brain or reality, I can experience colours and sounds like I wasn't able to before. It sounds like this is a very loud sound. So intensified, so exaggerated. Everything becomes a momentary experience. Time has a new meaning. It's all elongated and transient. You are in this new, devastating and extremely scary world that's all yours by yourself.
To find yourself in this world where everything's altered, it's such a very strange process, because as far as we can see, nothing's changed. Yet, it's all changed for her.
last time I was in my former home, it was an extremely disturbing experience.
You okay?
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Is that one? No, this one. I don't know if I can do it. I haven't tried it.
Must be the other one.
This one? Yeah. Oh, this is so weird. That's okay. It's like a dream. Somebody did a very good job tidying. It's like something that I've changed completely, if you see what I mean. Oh, I feel so pukey. Do you feel? I just remember trying to survive, and I don't even know. I do actually remember giving up and not caring and not sorting. Like, I just was like in a terrible state, and that I didn't know how I could get out of it. You're in this weird parallel trip thing. So you can't say you're trying to explain why you can't make a phone call or put some clothes on and get out of here. You just remember this weird, bizarre thing that just got worse and worse into this nightmare, and then remember crying, which I never cry, but being really, really upset, but not being able to figure out why and how, or any of that. I just got more and more upset, more sick, more ill, and more like into this nightmare.
I hated the idea that she'd gone through this all by herself and just laid down in her bed and was ready to die. And then something got her up. And she didn't. She got up. And, that's why she gets up every day and bumps into a wall and is reminded of what's going on, but she does it and she keeps going.
I haven't lived with my mother since I was 18, so now I'm 34. So, 34 years old, now we live together.
I mean, I've never thought much about the brain before at all. I mean, this is called acquired brain injury, but it's an acquired new world at the same time. It's very difficult for anybody to understand, for her friends and for anybody around her. Because, well, she says herself, she said the other day, she said, I feel like a baby, but, I'm a grown-up, and it's the two things at the same time. I need to nurture my body, and I need to have a rhythm in the day, just like a child. Otherwise, I can't function at all. On the other hand, everything's there already. It's very, very difficult to understand.
I can keep thoughts and ideas and thought process that are partially finished and partially need to keep going, but they disappear. So when I started to be able to write, I thought instead of having them disappear into thin air, which is horrible, I'll try to write them. The problem is, of course, is that I can't spell, so I don't know if that's the real word. I do mixed up dreams of the stroke The clock strikes. The stroke of the clock. And then creepy mice. Your dreams have a real new kind of realness to them that before they were just strange. And you kind of get confused between what's real and what's in your head.
Keep looking at my eye. I'm going to bring this little target in from the outside. Just say yes when you see it coming into view.
Now. 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 Now.
You see how much better the field is on this side compared to this side? When you had your injury, then that area infected, which is one part that was on the same part of space that you had.
Okay. I'm sort of looking around who this person's talking to. I don't know who they're referring, who they're referring to, and I don't know how to respond to what they're saying.
It'll take half an hour to work.
I wanted to ask you why you wanted to film this. Why did you get in touch with me? A lot of people in your situation would just be thinking about their recovery.
I'm obsessed with recording everything, and I'm unable to remember anything. So it's like, I think it's part of the brain has become unable to remember things. You become obsessed with recording it because you're just terrified that it's going to get lost. In order to make sense of it, I want to record it. There is a hilariously kind of surreal reality to it. It's surreal, and I don't know if it's your neurological. I don't know. It's not me. That's what happened. That's what it feels like. It's like you think about you think about David Lynch and things like that a lot. It's like being in the Red Room in Twin Peaks. I've been having imaginary conversations with him in my head.
She's really secret.
Dear Mr. Lynch, my name's Lutcher Sutherland and I live in Hackney in London. 2 months ago, I had an intercerebral hemorrhage and lost the use of my reading and writing, which is why I'm sending you a video message. It's like a new dimension, an exquisite, painful, sometimes like a nightmare place inside my head, but it's also somewhere where I can get completely lost inside this beautiful and extraordinary new place that I myself discovered where my brain once was. So I'd love to share it with you because I think you're going to like it. I'm going on a fun trip with my bag. I only found out 3 days ago that I was going to go there. This might be very, very difficult for me to actually do. I can't process the concept, the reality of going to live as an inpatient in a neurological place, hospital, full of ill people like me. Just to imagine that I'm with a friend, going somewhere fun, like it would be before, and maybe it will be after. And there's going to be some very serious moments inside it, but there's no point in me trying to imagine them because my brain doesn't have the capacity to compute. So to compute something, to anything like that is stupid, is pointless, is stressful and counterproductive.
Okay.
So are you ready for the final countdown?
I'm ready, but the question more importantly is, are you ready?
Well, I've got no sense of space and time, so it's fine for me.
We have a very close relationship. I mean, we've had a very tumultuous life and we've shared quite a lot of that, so I think that's why we're quite close.
Our parents weren't together, so I was brought up by my mum. And our childhood was an unconventional adventure. But I always knew I could depend on Jan for anything. I wonder if he'll be allowed outside. What do you think?
I think they don't tend to let people outside from their secure unit.
He has a great sense of humour. That makes an enormous difference, and he'll always be like that. He's been like that since the beginning. Even in the hospital, he'll be funny and he'll make me laugh, even if I can't even laugh myself. If I still smoked cigarettes, I'd be allowed out.
I don't know if they would. I think you might be tied down until you'd given up smoking.
How do you get out then and in?
I'll show you.
About to be admitted. We want to say goodbye to the world, especially me, because I'm not coming out. Maybe I'll be an improved specimen. Hey Sophie, quick hello from the loo. Trying to go back to being in hospital after being away for almost 2 months. Trying to get around the psychology of being a patient and being reduced to be equal with everybody else who's in there with me. I'm feeling very fortunate. I'll send you a picture of dinner, which was at 5:30 p.m. I'm going to bed in just under an hour. Have a great evening.
Hello?
Nighttime sounds at the hospital. Remind me of when I first woke up. And it felt like nobody could hear me. I was invisible. How terrifying it is. I'm sure it's a good idea for the silence in the head doesn't exist here.
It can happen to you, it can happen to me. It seems to be fairly indiscriminate, and that's quite a reality to behold, I think.
Point to your forearm, then your shoulders.
Forearm, then my shoulders. Shoulders.
Close.
Shoulders.
It's hugely confrontational because unless you challenge what someone can't do, you won't improve it.
This is where I learn about the outer reaches of human vulnerability and strength, and what a person, what a human is made from, what it's made from inside.
Lotte has aphasia, which is an impairment of language. She has this difficulty sequencing, sifting information, knowing what's the most important thing.
Where were you?
I was in intensive care, and it seemed like night time. And my brother was there and my mum. I didn't understand why I wasn't able to talk to them. And I guess that's just the beginning. That's the beginning. I haven't slept very well. But yeah, this is going to take forever.
No, it's okay that it does. It takes as long as it takes.
It's getting really difficult to be other people's property. People taking over my plans, my life. Doctors telling me things that I don't understand. But still being at that stage in life where obviously I should be able to take control of myself and responsibility. But people hijacking her life, hijacked, I guess.
Touch typing, using shortcuts, are coming back to me like magic, so I know I can rely on those. You do it automatically, it's automatic now, you know. For a long time it was like one letter at a time. But look back at my words, they will have disappeared.
And maybe especially because I can still write. Yeah. Because that's that thing that is quite the most unintuitive part of all of this. We think of reading and writing as being almost the same thing. You write something and then you read it. But for the brain it doesn't work like that at all. You know? It's a different process that is not at all obvious.
Is that because it's a different part of the brain?
It's because the pathways are a little different. To write something you don't need to necessarily just see it. But to read it, it's the visual part of the brain that is now having trouble. So your brain can see the words, but the connection between the seeing part of the brain and the language part of the brain has been disrupted. But the part which goes from the language part of the brain to the motor part of the brain to write it is fine. So you can write it, and then when you read it, there's a blockage. Yeah.
Okay. Update to self, note to self. This is not a step backwards, this is an enormous step forward. This is progress. Massive progress. The other one was just an illusion. A comfortable illusion. This is an uncomfortable reality. Cuckoo. It's all going nuts here at the Nut House. Psychology and recovery. Escape. I ran away. Kidding. One of the nice ladies said I was allowed. As long as I don't get lost. My weekly timetable: occupational therapist, language therapist, psychologist, and a psychiatrist. And I'm not sure which is which.
You know, this video communication is really amazing for people who are away.
Here I am in the brain room.
Exactly what Lotcha was doing before. She communicates with everyone via video, and she just makes me laugh.
This is where I perform my leisure activities, and this is where I like to play a snooker or write some music. You have to come here sometime, it's a real hoot. Really want to know what that says. Hey Adam.
Hello.
How you doing?
Wonderful.
What are you making?
I'm not making, I'm creating.
What are you creating?
A robot for my son.
You're my only friend here, Adam.
I'm your only friend.
Here at the RNIU, yeah.
Well, you've got a good friend, that's all I can say.
You're not wrong there, Adam.
Very good friend.
Are you looking forward to going home? Going into the real world?
I'm looking forward to it, yes, but I'll deal with it when I get there because I've been out there for a long time.
Do you think it's going to be alright?
Yeah. Life is what you make it. Life is what you make it, is what you make it, is what you make it.
Martin, magical Martin, I'm going to read.
Okay.
See if I can do it without messing up.
Okay.
Yeah? In this case, the writings of the incredible Mr. Lynch that I'm dying to get my head around. Within every... No. Within your own self is a treasury, an ocean of pure bliss, consciousness, intelligence, creativity, love, happiness, energy, and peace within every human being. Of pure bliss.
Yeah.
Experience that, and you will begin to know yourself, which is unbounded, eternal totality. Totality.
Excellent. Well done. Yeah.
I think that's wonderful. It means we have it all in us. Don't need to search too far.
Yeah.
Just have a look inside, and hopefully we'll find what we're looking for.
That's it, yeah.
I think that's great. It feels like a door is opened. A brand new door. It's in the middle. But it's open. Wants to let me in. Note to tell Sophie or someone.
This is your towel.
That's it.
This is your towel too.
I should have brought a bag, really.
It's all right. I can carry it.
What are you thinking about now? Can I just show you how these organisational skills have massively improved? I think you're very distracted right now. You're not thinking about the task in hand at all.
For me?
Yeah. See, if you have a brain hemorrhage, you focus on the things that you should be focusing on, and we ignore everything else. Pretty handy, in fact.
I remember that. I'll be sure to have one soon.
It's been a very, 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 very hard process to be here. I am different than I was. Maybe I'm never going to be the same. That's only really just occurred to me. But I'm still hoping that it's not true. Where I'm going to end up, or how I'll end up when it comes to romance, my life, work, you know, those are the things that you start freaking out about.
That one for Auntie Lokia?
Oh, thank you. Is that a leaf?
Yeah.
This is a book for people who can't read. It's got all pictures in it, you see?
I can't read.
Neither can I.
I can't read. I can't read. I can't read like read.
Dear Mr. Lynch, I'm writing to you from Victoria Park in London. I'm worried that I've used up the limit of my intelligence and it won't develop any further from here. That may make problems in the trajectory of my future. Definitely if I can't do writing or reading. I've had it. Only time will tell. Very curious. What do we have here? Headline. A very long and very interesting looking article about reprogramming our brains using transcranial stimulation, which sounds very scary. But that is exactly what I have just signed up for. And when I've done this fabled therapy, I'll be able to read. Maybe. Like that? Yes, please. That's great.
It's basically a battery. When it very first switches on, you can feel a bit of tingling. So you get two pads over the head, and the current goes between the two pads. A lot of the current actually doesn't go through the brain. A lot of it just goes through the skin. But a small amount goes through the brain, and we think that's the therapeutic bit. So for some individuals it works, and for some individuals it doesn't work so well. But on a group level it works. So we know that works. So we're trying to enhance that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely willing to do that. Okay, great. Yeah. I'm super excited to see what the results will be, but I'm also fully aware of the fact that this is an experiment that may or may not work. I'd love to wake up with a massively improved cognitive ability, of course, especially around my reading. But if it doesn't work, then I've given my body to science.
Ready? does it feel?
All right.
Tingling away.
Tingling away.
Right, well, let's start the training. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, off you go.
Rain.
Rain.
Yes.
Yes.
Space.
Space.
Assist.
Assist. I have to spend a month doing very intensive therapy.
Purple.
Purple.
Past.
Past. The effect is to rewire my brain so that it's able to find new routes to where it used to go automatically.
Panic.
Panic.
Down.
Down.
Past.
Past.
Yes.
I have to be exposed to words through sound and vision simultaneously, so that as I hear the words and I see them, I start to reconnect the sound of those words with the sight of those words.
Raw.
Raw.
Rescue.
Rescue.
Boy.
Boy.
Wish.
Wish.
Pie.
Kind of a crazy sensation, it feels like. Stinging nettles. Hard work, and they've given me this really dodgy laptop to take home to carry on when I get home for an hour every day.
Both.
Both.
Tough.
Tough. Soon.
Grin.
Grin.
Tan.
Tan.
Skill.
Skill.
Hope. Dance.
I'm starting to actually read the word along its length. Read each letter in the word and understand the series, the sequence of letters in a joint whole.
Lone.
Lone.
Owl.
Owl.
Need.
Need. The cognition is certainly improving.
Abuse.
Abuse.
But what do I know? I'm just an innocent guinea pig.
So, did it have any ill effects after the stimulation yesterday? No headaches? Nothing else like that in the evening?
No. Words, words, words.
So many words.
Words, words, words. Just 3 days left. Woo!
Stroke.
Stroke.
See.
See.
Dog.
Dog.
Wood. Lid. Open.
Open.
Legal.
Thought I just saw a flash. Maybe I didn't. Is that okay? Do you feel anything?
Legal.
No.
Happen.
First mistake.
Girl.
Ah!
Month.
That's deeply unpleasant. I didn't do that before. This is new.
Strike.
Okay.
Strike.
Winner.
Winner.
Run through that block and I'll
Laugh.
get Jenny down.
Log.
Log.
Sock.
Suck.
Story.
Story. Next one.
Just hold it down.
Sure?
Yeah.
It was probably about 4 p.m. Loki had called and there was a problem and I needed to get over there very quickly. She was squatting outside. Her speech was very impaired. She didn't really know what was going on. There was a lot of confusion. The ambulance came. I explained to them Loki's history. They asked me questions, tried to ask lots of questions, some of which she could answer, some of which he half answered, most of which she didn't answer at all. Lotje was half off the stretcher. Her eyes turned up. You could only see the whites of her eyes. Her face was purple, and she was... You know, I didn't know what was going on. She started convulsing. You know, these were very violent body movements. One of the nurses was trying to sort of keep her on the stretcher. The movements got so powerful that he asked me to help him to keep Lotje where she was. Overall, it lasted over a 4-hour period. At that stage, obviously, you start, I guess you start blaming, or you start looking for reasons.
My whole body is in shock. The whole of my back, my arms, my legs, my this. Do you call that?
Hips?
Yes.
Talk me through what you can remember.
On Monday, I went back to Queen Square for the penultimate time. After my zapping, I went home and started my 1 hour of words repetition. I started seeing these flashes of colour appearing in front of me. Lots of colour, repetitive flashes growing bigger and bigger, like hallucinogenic, uncontrollable growth of colour. I started panicking, and when I thought, okay, I have to, I don't know what's happening, but it feels a little bit like a stroke. It's frightening losing yourself, being lost in your body. I wasn't obviously expecting an epileptic fit.
Epileptic seizures result from abnormal, excessive or hypersynchronous neuronal activity in the brain. About 50 million people worldwide have epilepsy, and nearly 90% of epilepsy occurs in the developing countries.
Okay. I don't have epilepsy. Do I? My vision's distorted, but this time it isn't interesting like it was in November. It's scary. Okay, now I'm seeing things on my right-hand side. Things that shouldn't be there. I see this phantom object. Colours are getting brighter. The patterns keep repeating. Orange, no, yellow, purple, and green. And they keep growing.
Elopia, double vision. Amnesia, balance disorder. Disturbance in attention. Loss of concentration, memory impairment.
The land looks unfamiliar. I feel like a stranger here. Tomorrow I'll talk to Ellsmore and see what he thinks. I hope it's not going to be like this for the rest of my life. I'm terrified of having another epi.
Agitation, depression, emotional instability, mood swings, hostility or aggression, insomnia, nervousness, irritability, personal disorders, behavioral problems. Great! Perfect for your condition. I would say. Wow.
You were telling me that you'd had a seizure, so tell me what happened there.
Well, I've been doing this electromagnetic therapy thing. I forget what it's. See, I've regressed. I have regressed since the seizure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's some sort of transmagnetic.
Yes, I know what you mean. I don't have much experience of the technique. It would not surprise me at all if it were a potential side effect of the treatment, but I don't know for definite. Brain injury puts you at risk of seizures, so you were at risk of having a seizure with or without the treatment, so difficult to say for me whether it was directly related. Did anyone start you on any treatment for that?
Yeah, I have to take it every day,
Yes.
and it's for people who have epileptic fits.
Yes.
So I don't know if that, if that includes me, because it might just have been a one-off. I hope it was a one-off.
It's a bit difficult to tell, but probably the sensible thing for you at the moment is to be on the treatment,
Yeah.
and that's probably the most likely situation where this won't happen again, which is, I'm sure, what you would like at the moment. The medication can make people a little bit drowsy and feel not quite themselves.
I remember my brother saying, don't worry, you'll be better in a few weeks. Hopefully making that assumption. And some people do recover from strokes very quickly. But in my case, language-wise, I certainly didn't. So now I'm thinking, maybe none of me will recover quickly, ever. Anything can happen at any time, to any degree. So I better not have faith in anything.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Provoked seizure.
Yeah.
Did you ask him about provoked seizure?
Yeah.
And what did he say about that?
He doesn't really know. Andy Ellsmore is a surgeon, a brain surgeon.
Okay.
That's his specialty.
Yeah.
So anything else needs to be referred to other people.
In all fairness, it sounds like you got no answers from him at all.
Well, what kind of answers would you like?
Some answer, like I don't know, is an answer.
Like what?
Like, okay, were these flashes of light I had fits, and should I have been told that they were?
He can't answer those questions.
Why not?
Because he wasn't there. He doesn't know anything about it, other than what I've told him.
What did he say?
He said, I don't know.
I was unaware, actually, myself, that there is a very high risk, a 1 in 5 risk, pretty much, of this happening anyway if you've had a hemorrhage in the first year after. So, I should have probably been more prepared for the fact that this kind of thing could happen. For some reason, we weren't. I mean, as a family, and Lottie wasn't either.
I mean, there's no way of knowing. It's just unfortunate.
Well, the thing is, it's likely to have been a provoked seizure, that's the thing, but it's just a question of what provoked it.
Yeah. Very slowly. I was doing a lot better, but then I've gone backwards again since this.
Show me if you can read this.
With this?
Yeah. Just take your time, just.
John Gifford was the.
Just remind me again how long the whole thing lasted for. When did your speech return?
And well, the thing is that the actual fits happened in hospital.
I see. Okay.
So it was many, many hours. It was probably about, after the fits, Lokia slept. So by the time she was speaking again, it was 9 o'clock in the evening.
Okay. Whether the seizures were triggered or made worse by the treatment is difficult to answer.
I do have a question,
Yes,
sorry,
yes.
which is the flashes, were they seizures or not?
They're not seizures per se. I think it may be that the brain was sort of primed. You've got abnormal brain there anyway, so maybe they conspired to give rise to what sounded like a very prolonged seizure. In a very small proportion of patients, generalised seizures can carry a fatality actually, and certainly patients can die, for example, in their sleep from a seizure. So generalised seizures certainly need to be treated.
Here I am on my last visitation to Queen Square. Curious to see how much worse off I am than I was before the fit set in, and certainly disturbed and destroyed my brain and my mind.
So it's a graph. It turned out that you had the TDCS in the first week, because remember we were blinded to that, so we had to unblind ourselves. And the biggest improvement was in fact in the first week, so you can see that your reading speeds, actually for both trained and untrained words, both of them increased dramatically, quite dramatically there. So you've gone from an average of around about 2.2 seconds per word down to an average of about 1.5 seconds. That's about a 40% improvement in reading speed, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's quite impressive.
That's great.
So
Thank
that is
you.
good news. Well, it's all your hard work, really. And we would predict this. So generally speaking, there's a big effect of practice. But there's a hint here that there's an effect of the TDCS. Scientifically, it's a bit unfortunate because you had the seizure. The last time point would have helped us. So if you hadn't had the fit and you'd gone down again here, in other words, you'd improved again, that would have been good evidence that there wasn't a real effect of the TDCS. But because we lost that last time point, we can't really answer that question.
I'm sorry about that.
It's not your fault. Absolutely not your fault at all. The data that we've got from you, we're very encouraged by, and we're using this to put together a grant application, obviously to do it in more subjects. So all of this stuff, promising but not conclusive, is going to go into an application to try and do it on a bigger level.
Did I understand correctly that you're not going to be testing any more zapping on brain hemorrhage people?
Yeah, I think we'll probably put that in as one of the exclusion criteria. Obviously we want to be safe, but on the other hand, if you exclude a load of people in these studies, then when you finally publish it, there will be no evidence for a certain proportion. So I'm always a little bit wary about excluding people, because as soon as you start excluding a certain type of person, it then means that whatever you find cannot be generalised to those people.
Okay. I wouldn't want to be, I wouldn't want to contribute to people missing out on potentially helpful treatment. But yeah, at the same time,
well, it's not really a decision for you or a decision for me. There's a group of us, and ultimately it's down to the ethics committees, so they decide what is safe and what isn't.
I mean, but if there is a safety issue, then surely it's a good thing to exclude those.
I think it's something that we're all discussing. Yeah.
Okay, so it didn't work. Is that correct?
No, it did work. There's a 40% increase of improvement in the first week.
Okay, I can't read this, then. Can you explain to me?
Do you see? I mean, to be honest, I have no fucking idea.
Well, basically, if the red light...
But there's a 40% increase in the first week, and then it flat lines out. It terrifies me that death can just spring out of nowhere. threatened to take me away, and that could happen to anybody at any time.
Don't try to catch the winds where they are going, where they have been. Don't try to outrun what the winds are showing. Just gotta give in.
My first holiday since my brain was broken with the magical Miss Lucy McCrae. This is undoubtedly the cure. The brain needs to be quiet to perform its function. Quiet. I feel much closer to my consciousness, a much more raw closeness to the self that is the essence of me. If the physical body, the brain, is damaged, does this extend to damage to the self? I need to be comfortable with the subtle, or some may say unsubtle, differences between who I was before and who I am now. In meditation, I've discovered the fragility of the mind and also its limitless resources. And in that discovery, I've become empowered. The silence, solitude. Salut!
Qu'est-ce qu'on prenait en photo?
Non, un film.
Ah, un film?
Oui.
Ah, c'est moi là.
Oui. C'est votre jardin?
Oui.
Ah, c'est tout tranquille ici. Il n'y a pas de bruit.
Ah, ben je suis moi dessus tous les jours, il n'y a pas de bruit. Par contre, je fais avec le tracteur.
Oui.
Eh oui, avec le tracteur, c'est du bruit, ou alors la débroussailleuse.
Oui.
Pour couper l'herbe. Mais autrement, il n'y a pas de bruit.
Non. Just breathe. Don't panic. Let go of fear. Okay. I hope to be able to share with you some insights from my own recovery of my intercerebral brain hemorrhage. Cognition seems a very complex and mysterious thing that I've tried to get my own head around. So I hope I can share some of those insights with you, but I'm not sure if I can. I think one of the challenges probably for therapists is to just deal with the fact that you have to work with somebody who's being assessed and somebody who's being defined by their limitations, because that's the only way to figure out how to make them better. And I think just the experience of sort of continually being defined by what you can no longer do or how you're sort of limited becomes, I think, devastating.
Is there anything that you could advise us as therapists to help you get through that, or do you think there was no other way that we could have done it but said it like it was?
To maybe focus on things that a patient might find along the way, where they're always initially defined by what they can't do. They may discover something that they weren't expecting at all, which is certainly what happened
in my case. Dear Mr. Lynch, my name is Lutcher Sutherland. Almost exactly a year ago, I had a brain hemorrhage. It doesn't feel like a year, because time has taken on a different dimension. I was trying to relearn my reading faculty with a therapist, and something struck me in those words that completely changed my experience of recovery. I've learned that I'm strong, but I've also accepted my vulnerability. I've learned to focus only on what matters. It just takes a very long time to get used to a new brain.
Please find attached the tenancy agreement. Please initial each page where prompted.
I don't need to return to my old life. This is a new existence, a new dynamic, where I wasn't defined by my limitations, but rather about endless possibility. Thank you, Mr. Lynch.
It's right about time.
A really, really important part of this story has been this film. The film was something that was absolutely born of necessity. It's created a way for me to understand something that's extremely complex, and it's created a structure, a narrative structure for me to understand my own story.
Happy face. We don't really know the answers, but what I can say in this second of existence, reality is only what we believe and perceive to be true. That makes absolute sense to me. And very little does these days. Everybody loves a story, and this is a really good one. The beginning and a very long middle, and it will have an end. The story will have an end. The experience probably won't.
Hi, David. My name's Lutcher Sutherland.
Are you Lutcher Sutherland?
I am.
Lutcher, it's so good to hear your voice. I can't see you, Lutcher, but I want to say I loved your video letter to me, and I'm very happy, as I told you, that you found the meditation and you're enjoying it and enjoying the benefits. So, what was your question you'd like to ask tonight, Lutcher?
Well, I wanted to thank you, first of all, for inviting me this evening, but also for transforming my experience, not only of very sort of devastating brain injury recovery, but also of my sort of perception of existence. And my question to you was, do you think the brain is the engine of the mind, or vice versa?
The saying, consciousness is the driver of everything. The brain is a beautiful thing, and now with brain research, they can see on a EEG machine that when a person truly transcends, they see a wondrous thing. Boom! The whole brain lights up. They call it total brain coherence, and it's the only experience in life that does that. That coherence gets more and more permanent, giving rise to higher states of consciousness and ultimately supreme enlightenment, which is total fulfillment, total liberation, as they describe it, more than the most living totality.
Ne me quitte pas, il faut oublier tout, peut s'oublier qui s'enfuit déjà. oublier le temps des malentendus et le temps perdu, à savoir comment oublier ces heures qui tuaient parfois, coup de pourquoi le cœur du bonheur ne me quitte pas, ne me quitte pas, ne me quitte pas, ne me quitte pas. Moi, je t'offrirai des perles de pluie venues de pays où il ne pleut pas. Je creuserai la terre jusqu'après ma mort pour couvrir ton corps d'or et de lumière. Je ferai en demain où l'amour sera roi, où l'amour sera loi, où tu seras reine. Ne me quitte pas, ne me quitte pas, ne me quitte pas, ne me quitte pas. Ne me quitte pas, je t'inventerai des mots insensés que tu comprendras. Je te parlerai de ces amants-là qui ont vu deux fois le cœur s'embraser. Je te raconterai l'histoire de ce bois mort, de n'avoir pas pu te rencontrer. Ne me quitte pas, ne me quitte pas, ne me quitte pas, ne me quitte pas. On a vu souvent rejaillir le feu de l'ancien volcan qu'on croyait trop vu. Il est, paraît-il, des terres brûlées dont n'a plus de blé qu'en meilleur avril. Et combien le soir, pour qu'un ciel flamboie, le rouge et le noir ne s'épousent-ils pas? Ne me quitte pas, ne me quitte pas, ne me quitte pas, ne me quitte pas. Ne me quitte pas, je ne vais plus pleurer, je ne vais plus parler, je me cacherai là, à te regarder, danser et sourire, à t'écouter, chanter et puis rire. Laisse-moi devenir l'ombre de ton ombre, l'ombre de ta main, l'ombre de ton chien. Ne me quitte pas, ne me quitte